conversational competence and other skills to network effectively. Like most of us are from the agricultural extension discipline, and we use communication for the leverage of our extension activities. Now, there's a difference between communication and conversation. When you go to the networking event or when you approach someone with intention to plant that person into your network, you need a conversational competence. There is no like a watertight compartment that this is conversation and this is communication, but conversation is also an art. Someone is very good at communication when it comes to our university or institute premises, but at the moment you go to the MACD and the girl or boy over there with a cap, they started like, sir, what would you like to have? The MACD, a normal cheese, a burger, or the soup or the soda or whatever it is. We don't feel very comfortable to converse with that person, and that is the problem. Communication is different with conversation. This conversation is a one-to-one process wherein you really need to participate. Okay, so that is why if you wish to plant someone, and the most importantly, the unknown person into your network, then you really need to improve your conversational competence. Now, what it is? When we talk about good conversation, it is effective and mutual exchange of information. Effective and mutual exchange of information. And when you do it, you please free yourself from the assumption. अरे ये तो बंगाल का है, इसको तो चावल ही पसंद होगा और मछली पसंद होगा. अरे ये तो दिल्ली वाले हैं, इनको तो छोले भटूरे ही लगेंगे नाश्ते में. से दिमाग में कुछ assumption लेके मत जाओ. Okay, just go over there without any assumption and approach that guy. Like I would like to cite the example of our current Honorable Prime Minister. In one of his interview, the guy asked him, like, what is your secret that you're focusing too much on this, how to say, the foreign policy, you're visiting many countries and you're making, how to say, friendships with many nations. So what is your secret? And he said that I meet person without any assumption or without any prejudice. I make my opinion only after meeting him and not before meeting him. And if you also proceed with similar tactics when you start a conversation with someone, then only you will know that person. For example, you are a doctoral student, you are going to the meeting and you see a director of ICR Institute. Don't assume कि अरे ये तो ICR Institute के director है, ये तो बहुत busy होंगे, ये एक doctoral student से क्यों बात करेंगे? No. You don't assume. You go over there, you introduce yourself. Hello, sir. Myself, Dr. So-and-so, or I'm a doctoral student. I'm from Karnataka state and currently I'm pursuing my PhD in this topic. I actually saw you and I was like really wanted to talk to you, sir. That's why I came to say you hello. With this word, you give that chance to that person to open up. And then he will say something, yeah, it's good to know, like you're from Karnataka, you're doing PhD in Maharashtra, so nice. From which district you are? Okay. And then probably you will find something in common. Like he will also say, I'm also from Tamil Nadu actually. And then I stayed for a few days in that particular district for my data collection. And you don't know what opportunity he's going to throw at you. Okay. Maybe he will ask, okay, no issues. Like there is one project, SRF opening is there. If you wish, you can apply and we will see how best we can take you because you have that particular research work experience with on the same lines. Or he will simply tell, you are in extension, then why don't you go to the manage? They have one fantastic internship program going on. You apply for it. It's for 2 months and it will be a good opportunity for your CV building, something like that. You please do not start your conversation with assumption. Don't try to guess about the points they are trying to make. You're not there to play that correct guessing game. Many people, they do not speak. They listen and they, how to say, they really do not speak to you on the conversational tone. They come to you to play. They play games with you. क्या अगला लाइन क्या बोलेंगे? अगर मैं इसको पूछूंगा कि आपके बॉस कैसे, तो ये क्या कहेंगे? See, आपको वो सब गेम लोगों के साथ नहीं खेलने हैं. If you really wish to be a good network connection for others, and you wish to plant good network connections in your own network, then please do not have that secret agenda behind any conversation. अरे यार चलो जाते हैं उससे थोड़ी जानकारी निकालते हैं, उनके इंस्टीट्यूट में अभी कुछ मैटर हो गया है, उसमें एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ उसको खोजते हैं. वो जासूस विजय वाले गेम आपको नहीं खेलना है. ओके. And listening is an effort to understand what other person is saying. Listening is the most difficult job. Only listening, objectively listening, is very, very difficult. Many people, they don't listen when it comes to the listening. They listen few words and they start preparing the reply in their mind. कि अभी इसकी बात का खंडन मैं कैसे करूं. अरे यार, why you all are becoming like अर्नब गोस्वामी? हर एक की बात का खंडन ही करना है आपको. See, they are trying to give you opportunity. They are trying to give you a new outlook about your career. You should be receptive. You like don't agree to it 100%, but at least you listen it 100%. Then take pause, then make your decision, and then reply. Who is stopping you? Okay. And focus on listening and understanding. No distraction. If you are listening and if you're trying to understand, then do not distract yourself. This is very difficult, and I have seen many people, they struggle with this skill. Engage whole body in listening process. Okay. Comments of agreement, nodding your head, smiling, facing the person and making eye contact. When you do all this thing, you involve all your senses in the process of listening. Otherwise, वो आपको बता रहा है कि आपको कैसे जाके बाहर पीएचडी करना है, कैसे जाके आपको अच्छी पोजीशन लेना है, कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम के लिए कैसे तैयारी करनी है, और तुम इधर उधर देख रहे हो, अरे खाने का टेबल अभी तक शुरू नहीं हुआ, रोटी अभी तक गर्म नहीं है. The moment you start looking here and there, your brain starts processing that entire information, and that is why you really need to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are in a conversation. If you really wish to be a good a good party in a conversation, then there are some good tricks and tips. First one is remember the names. They are the keys. If you remember somebody's name and you call that person a professional with their name, it is like a key. You unlock that door. The moment somebody comes to me and say, Amol sir, कुठं आहे तुम्ही? अरे आप यहाँ कैसे? मैं जानता भी नहीं उस बंदे को, बट सडनली आई फील यार दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ माय नेटवर्क, दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ माय फैमिली. में अरे भाई तुम कहाँ पे हो, यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हो? और मैंने एक्चुअली आपको पहचाना नहीं. कहा अच्छा 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 हम आईआरए में साथ थे. ओके, नाउ आई कम टू नो यू. ओके, this is how you start conversation with that guy. Okay. And be curious to know when you are speaking with someone, when you are in a conversation, you be curious. Okay. You went there to get something good or some to harness some opportunity from that person, and not to impress that person with your existing knowledge. And if possible, ask some logical questions. See, in many seminars, in many webinars, and in many online events, I don't remember many people, but if somebody asks a logical question, I remember those guys. If somebody performs that particular assignment with the proper proper care and with the proper sincerity, I remember those guys. So even if there are like 100 people, I hardly remember one or two people. It's very difficult to remember each one of you. And if someone is nasty, if someone is doing stupid thing, then I of course remember that guy also, with the intention not to talk that guy again, or not to see that guy again, or to just to block that guy. So this is how you set impression. So if someone is deleted from the network, it remains deleted for a long time or probably forever. And if I see like someone is a value to my network, I incorporate them in my network, I plant them in my network, and sometimes I become proactive and I approach them. So whatever you do in your life is being observed by the people. Okay. You are not in a vacuum. You are not moving somewhere in the galaxy, in the asteroid belt or something like that. People are watching you, they are noticing you, and probably they will give you feedback when it's needed, not immediately. Now the curiosity is a cluster It's a trait cluster, a combination of intelligence, persistence, and hunger for novelty. Everyone cannot ask curious question. Everyone cannot ask logical question. The moment you ask that logical question, a curious question, we automatically perceive that you are intelligent guy, you are persistent, and you have that hunger for novelty. You are looking for something new. And be honest in your conversation. Be your authentic self. Don't how to say, don't try to impress the other party with made up things, with lies or something, because there are many sharp people who recognize that you are lying to them within few seconds. So the moment they recognize you are a professional liar, they delete your name from their network. They only, aha bhai theek hai, kaise ho, chalo dur hai, tumse 2 feet दूरी बना के ही चलते हैं. These things happen. Okay, focus on safe and neutral topics when you are talking with someone. For example, you went to talk to the director of some ICR institute. You are talking to them. हाँ सर, मैंने पढ़ा था आपका नाम, आपके इंस्टीट्यूट में कोई भ्रष्टाचार हो गया था क्या, वो आपका नाम अखबार में आया था. द मोमेंट यू से द नेगेटिव थिंग, वो बंदा कहता है यार ये कौन आ गया, चलो वो कहता है आई एम बिजी राइट नाउ, थोड़ा बाजू में हट जाओ. So always choose safe topic. You went there to explore the opportunity for your career and not to tell them or remind him कि आपका नाम अखबार में आया था, मैंने वो न्यूज़ पढ़ी थी. Who told you to do only? Okay. Then allow some silence pauses into conversation. Continue बात भी नहीं करनी है. You really need to take a pause also, so that the person who is standing in front of you can process the information, or he can thoughtfully think like what he should tell to you about your career or about your future plan or something like that. Because we don't always go to the seminars with ready-made how to say speeches. अगर कोई मुझसे पूछेगा कि सर एक्सटेंशन का स्कोप एमएससी के बाद क्या है, I do not have any answer ready with me. So naturally, I will take my time. I will think. I will look into scan. Then I will tell, yeah, maybe you can try for the IRI or NDRI or something like that, considering your potential. And conversational hosting is a kind of facilitation. If you're hosting a conversation, like for example, like it is a group of 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and then the way you introduce each other, the way you welcome the new person in the group, and the way you redirect the conversation, and if there is some, like if they are going out of track. For example, you are talking about career and suddenly everybody starts saying, "Arey khana ekdam bakwas hai." Then how to bring them back to the career topic? So it is a skill, and it can be inculcated over the period of time if you are cautious. Then we will go to the next slide. Conversational style. Decide yourself. Who are you? Introvert or extrovert? Who are you? Shy or talkative? These are the two things you really need to understand. And sometime I have seen the shy people are really talented people. They have many things to say, but they prefer to keep shut and they only smile, or probably they won't even smile. They sit in a corner and they are busy with their own thing. But the moment you approach them, you start talking to them, within 10 minutes you get a feeling कि यार मैं पहली बार नहीं मिल रहा हूँ इस बंदे को, ऐसा लगता है बहुत पहले से हमारी दोस्ती है, इतना अच्छे से बातें चल रही है. And then you realize the importance of a good conversation. कि अगर मैं इस आदमी को अप्रोच नहीं किया होता तो शायद कोई नई जानकारी मुझे नहीं मिलती. So decide your style, whether you are introvert, extrovert, shy or talkative, and accordingly you start making conversation, or you start choosing the conversation partners for yourself. Okay, but I recommend when you go to any meeting, any event, any seminar, you take proactive step. Like it's not harmful to go to someone and say, hello, good morning. Are you here for the meeting? Because I also came for the same. I really don't know anybody here. So I just wanted to say you hello. What's your name? You are from which discipline? And then things start towards conversation. Okay. And if someone is like giving off-handed answer, like, "Arey bhai, ruko main phone pe hu, baad mein baat karta hu," you say, okay, sorry sir, sorry to disturb you. I will move ahead. And at that moment you should not feel indiscertain. क्या यार मैं इतना तैयारी करके मेकअप करके आया और पहले ही आदमी ने मुझे बोल दिया कि उसके पास टाइम नहीं है, अभी मैं घर जाके रात भर रहूंगा. No, you turn to the next person who is available to talk. Okay, asking questions and follow-up questions, that is also a skill. In every seminar we also say, is there any question? There is a pin drop silence. And then 90%, 93% of communication is a non-verbal. We really need to understand this facet also. The way person is looking at you, his hand movement, his gesture, his eye contact, his style of delivery of words, the words which are stressed by him. All these things are also part of communication. And if you are good, you will notice whether this person is good or not, and you can judge many things about person, his personality, just by looking at his non-verbal communication. And this 93% of non-verbal communication is a guideline for you to understand whether you should plant that person in your network or not. And allow people to exit gracefully. If you're talking to someone and if he is having some issue, he just want to go to toilet, and you are like, "Arey nahi sir, abhi bata ke jao. Arey sir, abhi bata ke jao. Nahi sir, abhi bata hi do." Don't do it. If he wants to exit, if he is giving you signal that he needs to go, it's urgent call, you allow him to exit gracefully. Eye contact is different and staring is different. Eye contact is different and staring is different. So you develop your eye contact skill. Do not stare someone like a table fan. No. 3.3 seconds is the ideal duration for eye contact. And especially when you are talking to your boy and you're talking to a lady, and if you're a girl and you're talking to some gents, like we do not look into the eyes continuously. Like 3.3 seconds or around 3 seconds is the optimal time. And then you again start looking a little bit here and there, and then you again, when you ask a question, you look into the eye and then ask, "Okay sir, do you think like plant breeding is a good career for the person who is expert in I don't know, a pollination or something?" So when you ask question, you look into the eye and then expect the answer. Okay. Conversational manners. Many people, like, this is a disaster if you don't have the good manners, but try to improve all these skills. Okay. Very careful with the touching and personal space. Nowadays, there are many guidelines issued by government also. In the Code of Conduct Manual of Central Government Officers, it is clearly written. But the first and foremost thing would be to understand the personal space. Okay. If you're talking to someone who is not your friend and who is an authority, at least you should try to maintain like 1 meter distance from them. You should not go very close to him and do some kusur fusur in his ear. No, that is not acceptable. And touching beyond handshake is inadvisable. You should not touch anyone, like even if it is a boy or girl, and if it, like you both are boys or you both are girls, no, only handshake is good, and don't go beyond it. Okay. When you are in the formal meetings or when you are in the workshop or the seminar, until and unless you both are friend and you know each other since last probably 20-30 years, I don't know, then it's okay कि आप गले में हाथ डाल के वो टुन्ना टुन्ना गाने पे डांस कर रहे हो, that is perfectly fine. But with strangers, with new people, maintain that space. Firm but a gentle grasp, and do not squeeze the other person's hand tightly. When you do the handshake, this is one guideline. It should be firm but gentle grasp. Do not squeeze. For example, you go to gym, I know, and you do like many weights and you're a bodybuilder. It doesn't give you any right to squeeze my hand. Okay. And hand should be dry for handshake. If you are looking forward to shake hand with someone, some authority, some dignitary, some person in a meeting, then your hand should be dry. Okay. Don't go with a sweaty palm. नहीं तो सामने वाला बंदा बिल्कुल आपका हाथ में लेके डर जाएगा, उसको ढूंढना पड़ेगा कि यहाँ पे भी वॉश बेसिन कहाँ पे, मुझे पहले हाथ धोना है. Don't do it. Speak slowly and choose words carefully. Many people, they do not choose words carefully, and that is a disaster. It would be really nice if you plan a few words in advance, like what you are going to say, how you are going to say. That would be really nice. And speak slowly. Sometimes, not sometimes, but many times, if you are speaking to a person who is not from your dialect area, then he will have a difficulty understanding you. Okay, your language, your pronunciation. So go slow. Speaking too quickly is a common mistake. See, while delivering, sometimes I go too fast because there is a time limit, but that is not my common style. Generally, I speak at medium speed. But when you are in the meeting, and if you're trying to make a very important point. When you are trying to make a very important statement, do it slowly. Don't speak quickly, continuously, without pause. No. Do not speak continuously for a long time also, because you are there to seek information and to build network. You are not there to give your own pravachan or kirtan or whatever you call it to the person, or the person who is standing next to you. Do not judge people. This is very bad habit again. Do not judge people. It shatters your network. For example, you are in the networking event. You are trying to make a conversation with the 10 people, and while doing it, you start telling them about one unknown guy, कि यार वो बंदा ऐसा निकला, उसने ऐसा किया, उसने वैसा किया, वो तो ऐसा ही निकल गया, वो अच्छा नहीं हुआ. The moment you start judging people in front of others, they say, like at the next moment, when you go to the next group of people, you will start bad mouthing them, and this is disastrous. It shatters your network. So please do not judge people. You are not a judge or jury to judge everyone. You have right to improve yourself. Don't judge other people. They have their own lives and their own reasons. You don't know who is fighting what battle in their life. Okay, so please leave them alone and focus on yourself. Interrupting is a self-defeating practice. It's a very bad impression. If someone is speaking, let him or her complete the sentence, the statement, or her role, and after that you jump in. Jump in a very good way, like yeah, I would like to add something to that point, may I? And then you start, yeah, actually in my university also we had a similar situation, but actually my head of the division, he's a very experienced guy, so he found a new way to deal with that situation, and this is how you contribute to the conversation. Otherwise someone is telling his story and you jumping in, अरे तुम्हारे यहाँ पे तो सब ऐसे ही है, मुझे पता है. Don't do it. Interrupting someone shows that they are not important. See, I am telling you something from the core of my heart. I am spending like 2 hours with you, and to deliver this 2-hour session, you don't know how many hours I prepared and invested from my life. Whatever I am trying to give you is very important. But imagine someone is interrupting me. It is indirectly showing that I am not important to you. My statement, my commitment, my teaching, they are not important to you. And the moment I get that feeling, I will stop delivering lecture in a very good mood or in a very professional manner. Then I will only do it as a formality. Okay, you go, you all are intelligent, you deal with your life. So this thing happens. An interruption occurs. Sometimes you naturally do it, or sometimes it happens automatically. And that particular moment, you should apologize and return the floor to the person. Oh, sorry, sir. I'm really sorry. I interrupted, but if you please continue, sir. It was really interesting to listen to you. I'm looking forward to hear that point, sir. Please continue. Okay. That is what I call like a graceful way of handling an interruption. If it happens from your side, unintentionally, and you again return the floor to the speaker. And if you want to leave a particular group of conversation, then you say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just saw some people, I really need to talk to them now. So may I leave, please? Please forgive me, I really need to talk to them, and it was pleasure to meet to you. Thank you so much. So that polite way, that humble way, it gives a very good vibe to that particular group, like how mature and how well behaved person you are. And ultimately we all are looking for those qualities among everyone. So there are some tips, and you please remember them. Whenever you go to networking events, whenever you go to some meeting, seminar, conference, limit your negative statements unnecessarily. खाना तो एकदम बकवास निकला यार, पता नहीं इन लोगों ने कितना झंडू कूक ला के रखा है, अरे पता नहीं इन लोगों को किसने खाना खाने का ऑर्डर दे दिया. You should not be judging and giving this statement. You know you cannot do anything. Whatever you like from the menu, you eat it, and you are not going there to eat. That is not a shadi, and you are not a jija or phupa. So it's not your job to judge the food and all. Eat, it's a working lunch, eat whatever you want and continue your job. You went there to network, you went there to find some good opportunities for your career, so you do it. And there are like situations when you start saying, अरे खाना इनका बकवास है, टॉयलेट क्लीन नहीं है, वो कुर्सी साफ नहीं है, The moment you start shooting these statements in air, people think you are a complainer. भाई ये बंदा जो है ना बस कंप्लेन करना जानता है. और मे बी समवन विल से ये बंदा पीकी ईटर है, इसको ना माने यहाँ पे वो टिक्का विक्का उस टाइम के आइटम चाहिए थे. अब we don't know the event, maybe it is mainly for the senior people, and when you talk about senior people, everyone has health issues. किसी को डायबिटीज है, किसी को बीपी है, इसलिए उन्होंने ऑर्डर दिया होगा कि भाई खाना मीठा नहीं चाहिए, उसमें सॉल्ट भी कम चाहिए, ज्यादा ऑयली नहीं चाहिए. और मे भी जो गेस्ट आने वाले हैं उनमें से किसी को कोई परेशानी हो, उन्होंने बोला होगा कि हम मसाला खाना नहीं खाते. So if you really wish to eat, you go to the restaurants or cook at home. But when you go to these meetings and conferences, please remember, हम वहां पे खाना खाने नहीं जा रहे. Food is only a formality, and we go there only to harness opportunity. And many people will see after some time कि बंदे को judgment एकदम poor है. He don't want to understand the side of anyone. ये बस खाना खाने आया था, खाना खाने जाएगा, बाकी कुछ नहीं है, खाली कटोरा है. So please limit your negative statements. और someone will say confused है ये बंदा, बस कुछ नहीं है, ऊपर हेलमेट है और घूम रहा है. So once somebody think about you in such a negative way, it's very difficult to set a positive impression again. Your first impression is the long lasting impression, and that is why please stay away from the negativity and negative statement. Avoid getting too personal too quickly. See, this is also very tricky. You should not be asking very personal questions too quickly ना. अभी मीटिंग में है, किसी डायरेक्टर से साहब से या किसी सीनियर आदमी से बात हो रही है और आप पूछ रहे हो सर आपकी शादी हो गई, आपको क्या लेना देना है, मैट्रिमोनियल साइट चला रहे हो आप. Why are you asking too personal question? And for example, even if he is an authority and you know him since last 10-15 years, and after that particular time you have that freedom to ask that question, sir एक बात पूछूं सर, थोड़ा घर में कोई परेशानी चल रही है क्या, भाभी जी थोड़ा हमसे आज ठीक से बात नहीं कर पाए. Then that guy opens up and tells you, yeah, some issues are happening with school admission of my son, she's not happy, I am enrolling him into that school. Can you intervene, can you convince her that yeah, probably that is a good school, something like that. But please don't ask too personal question too quickly. Respect women. If you are a boy, if you are gents, if you are a male counterpart, then our prime duty is respecting women. Okay, हम सब क्या है ना, जो भी है वो हमारी माँ की बदौलत है. And in this particular society, even though we call it like कृषि प्रधान देश, women जो है वो इस देश को संभालने वाले सबसे बड़ी शक्ति है. And we can only respect them. So please respect women. Whatever the good ideas you have, whatever the good thoughts you have, you please air them. Like recently we all celebrated International Women's Day. You remember those words not just on that particular day, but please for the entire year. Okay, there is no alternative. Women have great place in the history of this country, and they are going to shape the present and future of this country. Okay, the women in agriculture are the, like, how to say, the backbone of the entire agricultural industry. They are literally doing miracles. And जो काम लेडीज कर सकते हैं एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर में, वो जेंट्स के लिए भी बहुत बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, ये हमारा दायित्व है कि हम महिला का पूरा पूरा सम्मान करें, और ओनली शब्दों के साथ नहीं करें. दैट एक्शंस नीड टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट योर वर्ड. ओके, महिला का सम्मान करना है. एंड अगर आप एक अच्छा इंसान हो तो ये आपकी पहली क्वालिटी होनी चाहिए कि हाँ, हर माता का, हर भगिनी का, हर महिला का हम सम्मान करते हैं, दिल से करते हैं. एंड प्लीज imprint these words somewhere in your brain forever. Okay, and not just on International Women's Day. Then the next tip is, no one is obliged to offer you information. If like you are coming to me and you are asking me कि सर आप मुझे बताओ बाहर PhD कैसे करना है, ये करना है, I am not obliged to give you that information. It's my nature that I like sharing things so that I can empower you, but I am not obliged to give you information. And it depends how you approach me or anyone, and the way you ask, the way you initiate the conversation. And if I sense that you are very smart and how to say exploitative kind of a person who is only seeking information, probably I will not give you any information. Okay, so I'm not obliged to give you information. And if I am giving you in a good manner, for example, this lecture contains many things which will shape your career in a very great way, and I'm doing it not because of you but mainly because of Manohar sir. So I'm not obliged to give you information. I'm doing it because I respect my network with Manohar sir and the things which he did for me when I was a student in IARI, the way he nurtured me and the way he guided me whenever I needed. Okay, so you respect that particular networking relationship also. And cool and calm is important if someone offends you in the meeting, in the workshop, in the seminar. We have the tendency to become like angry young man all the time. Hey, तू कौन होता है मुझे बोलने वाला, तू जानता है मैं कौन हूँ? No, वो हिंदी फिल्मों में जो चीजें होती है वो वहीं पे अच्छी लगती है. In the real life, like cool and calm is a superpower. Do not lose your calm for like very small people. Your calmness, your coolness is your superpower. And reframe your perspective before you talk. That is one more tip I wish to give you. Attune yourself to negative talk. Shut it up. Maybe there is always negative talk in your head. If it is happening, you shut it up. Okay. There are many ways to shut it up. You start listening to some good song or something, and you start talking about some good things which happened in your life. And this is the one way to shut up that negative self-talk. Okay. You say rather some positivistic statement. For example, I am giving it short. कोई मुझसे बात ना करे, नहीं करे, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. मैं खुद जाऊंगा और मैं सबसे बात करूंगा. मैं इस डॉक्टर साहब का नाम याद तो नहीं कर पाया, but I will go and I will talk to him. I will send like a follow-up email to him. But कभी negative talk मत करो. And that self-negative talk is also very dangerous. Huh? I forgot to bring business card or something. But anyways, क्या होता है? Business card भूल गए इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी कि मैं अपने आप को भूल गया हूँ. I will go and I will talk to the people. I will be prepared next time. And don't expect to quit the permission like a cold turkey. The first good step is just becoming more aware of negativity. So in any situation, if you find the situation is awkward or how to say it's not happening according to your wish or according to your plan, no problem. You just remove that negativity from your head and you just to move ahead. That is enough. Okay. So at any situation you will find अरे यार मैं पूरी तैयारी नहीं की है, मेरा ये रेडी नहीं है, मेरा वो रेडी नहीं है, मेरी बस चूक गई थी, मेरा ये टूट गया था. Shut it up. No one is interested in listening your excuses or your negative points. We just want to see a successful and better version of yourself. So when it comes to starting a conversation, remove the negativity and start conversation. Starting with non-verbal involving body language and eye contact and observation is a good start. For example, if you are in the meeting, if you look at someone and if they smile, you also smile back. And that is one way, like, okay, अरे ये साहब तो थोड़े अच्छे हैं, ये देख के मुझे मुस्कुराए, तो थोड़ी देर बाद आप ब्रेक में जाके उनसे बात कर सकते हो, है ना? और you smile at someone and वो आपको एकदम ऐसे पंकज उदास की तरह देख रहे हैं, then it's a signal for you कि बंदे का मूड नहीं है, शायद ठीक बीवी से मार खा के आ रहा है, चलो छोड़ दो इसको, किसी और से बात करते हैं. But when you are approaching someone, they might give you some discouraging body language replies also. For example, turning away, crossing their arms, facial expression that express negative emotion. The moment you sense it, you should not approach that person. If you know the name of person by how to say, by his name and proper designation or title or something, you greet name person. Hello Amol sir, hello Manohar sir, hello Dadwar sahib, kashe ahat tumhe. The moment you say the name, the person has like a 50% friendship already with you. Okay. And then ask question if you have any. Ask open-ended question because you are there to initiate dialogue. Okay. Sir, जेवण झालं का? तो म्हणेल हो किंवा नाही. But if you ask a question in an open-ended manner, sir, इथल्या जेवणाबद्दल तुमचं मत काय आहे? Then he will tell two more sentences, and this is how you open up a person. Asking question is art. Asking question is like a really big art, and that one good question can lead to another good question, and then many good things can happen in your life. For example, you went to Delhi for some meeting, NAS complex, something is happening, and you find someone, you ask question, when did you move to Delhi? He will tell, yeah, in January. Do you like living in the university apartment? He will say yes or no. Is IR a good institute to work for? He will say yes, it's good, or he will say no, bad. But if you reframe your question in a very nice way, for example, how did you end up in Delhi? Please tell me. Now that guy will tell you a story. First I went to Bangalore, then I went to Hyderabad, then I got a transfer, and finally I came to Delhi. This is how you establish the friendship. Or the second question you can reframe, like, what do you like about living in the university apartment? Can you tell me? And then that guy will tell, yes, we have a gym, we have this facility, I get close to all authorities, director साहब वही रहते हैं, joint director साहब वही रहते हैं. So if there is any problem, we go and we sign the papers. Besides, our families stay together, we celebrate many programs together, something like that. And what parts of your job at IARI do you enjoy the most? Like if you ask the first question, like, is IARI a good institute to work for? He will say yes or no. But the moment you reframe your question, you get more information from that person. So my dear friends, please start asking good question. I know you don't like asking a question, but please ask. They are very important. You don't know the importance of question yet. Networking conversation starter. If you are at a networking event, seminar, conference, webinar, or at any other similar situation, meeting like situation, then please have some starters with you ready. Starter, not chicken tikka and all those starters. I'm talking about the conversation starters. Okay, pay attention. For example, hi, I don't know many people here, so I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Amol and I work at IVRI Pune. Then other people start introducing themselves. So what brought you here today? And then people will start talking. Yeah, actually my boss sent me. I was not ready to come, but he insisted, like, you please go and attend this meeting. I'm very busy. Or you can ask, like, what's your story, man? You are doing masters in extension. How did you end up with extension? How did you hear about this event? Who told you that this particular conference is going to happen in Pune? Then he will tell, actually it was my guide who told me to go and attend, something like this. Like, what a beautiful venue it is. Have you been here before? Maybe. And then people say, yeah, actually this is my first time. I came first time. Or maybe you can ask, what do you think about the keynote speaker? And then the guy says, yeah, he's a very learned person. Actually, he's the vice chancellor of my university. He has 200 papers, 300 seminar papers, something like that. I can't believe how underdressed I am for this event. Now, this is mainly for the international speakers. We don't use this conversation starter in India. And I will be the only person I know here. You can rephrase it again, like, the only person I know here is a bartender. So I just met him 2 minutes ago. Mind if I introduce myself? Now, this is also good for the international conferences. We don't get bartenders in the normal events. But what I suggest to you, you try to prepare some good elevator pitch formulas for yourself. Like, this is Formula 1 and Formula 2. At least have that small speech ready all the time with you when it comes to introduce you. You should be able to introduce yourself in 30 seconds, in 1 minute also, in 2 minutes also, in 10 minutes also. Okay. So basically you should answer like, what do you do? What skills do you have to do it? What would you like to do? Why? What's your motivation, your passion, and your interest? Or maybe you can tell your name, your position, maybe PhD, master, or whatever it is. Describe your current research or techniques which you are using, your career goal, and what you want to learn about in future. So at least on these lines, you should have your introduction ready, and do not introduce yourself in the dead boring way. Some people when they introduce, ऐसा लगता है कि यार क्यों introduce कर रहे हो अपने आप को, इतना थकेले टाइप में बोल रहे हो. You should be really falling in love with you. You're already like a 20-30-year-old guy and you still don't know how to introduce yourself. This is a very, how to say, frustrating situation. So there are some highlights of my this particular session. Please look at them once again. Avoid distraction when you are in conversation. Face the other person completely. Have good posture, open posture. हाथ की ऐसे फोल्डिंग करके किसी से बात नहीं करना है. Make eye contact. Shake your head or give the positive comment. If possible, smile, but not too much. Your smile is a very gracious ornament God has gifted to you. Use it and have a calm presence. Okay, not that hyperactive guy who is running here and there throughout the seminar or meeting and he's in each and every photograph. No, resist urge to interact or interject your own voice. Okay, this is like, it's not necessary that you say or you speak all the time. It's good that you sometimes you maintain the silence and listen what others are saying. Always keep two pitches ready. Okay, always keep two pitches ready. They are about introducing yourself. Okay, and this is the end of my session today. If you have any question, if you have any difficulty, feel free to ask. If you wish to know more something about this topic, I would be happy to answer.